G'day, welcome to the show. Soul Covers here. Back after a slight losing night. We had so much action down yesterday. Just look at that screen. I had to decrease the font size just to be able to get all of that on screen. So first losing night in 4 days. We had a lot of great bets. Had a lot of great bets. Just a bit of a wonky night. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff. Support the channel. Do it for me. Providing these videos every single day. Just looking back briefly, my favorite bet on the board, Charlotte OKC under 230. We walked into that game with 10 points of closing line value, and that game just goes way over. And that's where it kind of proves that there's some value in playing some of these bets back. If you get like 10 points of CLV, sometimes it's good to ride with it, but sometimes it's also good to just play some of it back. I was thinking about playing like 2 units back on the over, ended up just letting it ride, and we lost out there. Minnesota and Pelicans, we were spot on in terms of our reads on that game. Felt very good about the Wolves covering and the under as well. Now, we did have some injury news that broke our way. Zion did get ruled out. He's an over player. He's obviously important for the Pelicans, but yeah, the Wolves blew them out. Won by almost 40. Pelicans definitely a team to fade going into this final stretch of the season now without Trey Murphy. We also like the Pistons and the under in that game, and both of those didn't cash. Sixers and Spurs. We tried to play a middle on that, and this is where it goes to show playing those middles, playing some of your bet back, does work out because that total closed at 235. We had a stronger position on the under, and that game goes way over. We also like the Portland Trailblazers money line. Jamal Murray got ruled in. That game closes at Denver -2. But look, the projections had that game at a pick'em with healthy squads. Denver passed the statute of limitations in terms of playing well without Jokic. They end up losing that by 20. Cavs lost 4 straight now, losing to the Suns. We saw market movement towards the Cavs as well. That game closed at Cavs -8.5. Lastly, we had the over between the Grizzlies and Clippers. That one cashed pretty easily. We ended up cashing out our Clippers -6 ticket, and that would have won. That would have given us a winning night. So, hate to see that. I'm happy the Clippers won, but yeah. Let's get into it, man. We got 5 games on the slate, a very tricky slate to bet into. I do not have much action at the moment. I have 2 bets locked in. Make sure to follow me at Soul Covers. Get the bets as I place them. Let's get into it. So, this is not the first game we will be looking at, but it is my favorite bet on the board. First, we have the Nets and Pacers. This one, game 2 of a baseball series between these two teams. D'Angelo Russell is out for this game. Cam Johnson is in. In the previous matchup, D'Lo was in. Cam Johnson sat out. Looking at the previous spread closed at 7.5, opened at 9. Now, I don't think that was sharp movement towards the Nets. It was Halliburton got ruled out. Halliburton still questionable for this one. Now looking at a spread that opened at around 9.5. So we've been crunching some numbers for this Nets team. We had a look at their games when Cam Johnson has played. They have 33 and 21 against the spread with Cam Johnson in the lineup. That's 60% blind betting them. It's hard to say if the Nets are tanking. I mean, they definitely want to lose games. There was some questionable decisions by the Nets in the end of the game against the Pacers last time out where they got the cover, but they didn't win. Either way, you can still back them as heavy underdogs. Like they still will play hard. Um, yeah, so Halliburton's still questionable. I've got nothing on this spread. For me, it's like maybe take a small position on the Nets if Halliburton gets ruled out. I don't know. Looking at the total opened at 219 and a half. At the rec books, it opened at 220 at the sharp books. Now seeing it at 221. We played a small position on the over in this game. We got that down for 2 units. Definitely not a sexy bet to place. Nets, slowest team in the league. They are the third best under team in the league. Looking at the previous matchup, the total closed at 221 and a half. So just as like a general strategy, always a good idea to play towards that closing line of the previous matchup. So that's what we've done here. So yeah, Nets worst over team in the league, or one of the worst. But with Cam Johnson in the lineup, they are almost 500. So they just have so many under trends, but with Cam Johnson in the lineup, they're about 50% to the over. We've got a projected total at 225, but that does account for Halliburton being in the lineup. Nets with Cam Johnson on the floor, their offense is 8.8 points per 100 better with him on the floor. That's around the 96th percentile amongst active players. I'm banking towards the over in this game. The early market movement seems to hint at an over. It also hints at Halliburton playing. Like I said, though, this is a very tough slate to bet into. Next, we have the Warriors in Atlanta playing the Hawks. Steph Curry is out for this game. Spread opened at -2.5. It is still there. Projected line at Warriors -4.5. That does account for Steph playing. Warriors 5-1 this season against the spread without Steph. So it looks like the markets are they're over adjusting to Steph being out. I would rate Steph as being worth about 5 points to a Warriors spread. So yeah, looking at the projections, if Steph's worth 5 points, this should be a pick'em. So could be a bit of value on the Hawks. Can someone talk me into a Hawks money line? Maybe. Warriors coming off a close win against the Raptors. Hawks, they are coming off 2 days of rest. They just beat down the Hornets as well. One thing I'm looking into, I need to see what's the Hawks against the spread performance when they in these like rest spots. Looking at the total, yeah, we see a projected total at 239 and a half. That does account for Steph being in the lineup. Going back to the spread, Hawks with at least 2 days of rest, 500 against the spread, so nothing there. Yeah, maybe I'll play the Hawks money line if I see some market movement towards them, but for now I've got nothing on the spread. Total open at 230 and a half has been bet down to 229 and a half. We see sharp books at 228 and a half. Looking back at the Warriors and Bucks game where Steph got ruled out, we saw that total shift about 8 points, which I completely agree with. Steph, one of the top over players in the league. He's not great on defense and he's just so important for this Warriors offense. The over is 11-4 for the Hawks when they get at least 2 days of rest. All in all, this total is hard to bet into. Maybe if it continues to drop, you could go against the market. I mean, in March, I think it's definitely been profitable to just fade the market movement from open to close. How am I going to do it here? Not right now, so let's move on to the Wizards and Knicks. God, this is just an ugly slate. This is a very ugly slate. So we have spread open at 15. Still there at 15. Bit of juice towards the Knicks as well. Sharp books all at 15 as well. Miles McBride is questionable. Wizards on a back-to-back. They just got smoked by the Magic. They let the Magic score 120 on them. This is a Knicks get right spot. Coming off 2 straight losses as heavy favourites. Big ass spread. I got no opinion on. We haven't seen the Wizards injury report yet, but I think it's safe to assume that Middleton definitely not playing this game. Jordan Poole maybe not playing this game either. They did both play against the Magic. Kind of like the Knicks in this spot, but 15 points without Brunson. This team is just tired as well. Like, yeah, looking at the total, so I was looking at the Action Network app, and it said that this total opened at 231.5. I think that was just a mistake, because if it was at 231.5, that would have been like a max bet on the under. We got this total projected at 227. That does account for Jalen Brunson being in the lineup. Sharp Books opened this total at 222, and now we see it at 223.5, so a bit of movement towards the over. I'm not sure if I don't agree with that. The Knicks, they are in a similar spot to the Timberwolves yesterday, where they've lost 2 straight as heavy favorites. The under hits 70% of the time in these spots, so there's just a few different things pulling me in either direction, so best to just stay away from this game. Bucks and Kings, definitely the most watchable game on the slate. We had this spread open at Bucks -1, quickly moved to Kings -1, Kings -1.5. Dame is out, Sabonis is out. Projections at Kings -2. Just another spot where I've got nothing. Like, we know the Bucks, the 1-12 straight up against top 10 teams on the road, but the 7-1 straight up on the road against that 10-20 range, where the Kings, that's where they are. They're about, I think, like 15th in net rating. Just, yeah, I got nothing on this spread. Honestly, not even a lean. You know how I feel about the Bucks, so not really keen on taking some Kings either. So looking at the total, projected total at 234, but that accounts for Dame being in the lineup. Dame, another one of those like top 5 over players in the league. You put him in with Steph, Jokic, Halliburton, just guys who are so good offensively and not very good defensively. We saw this total open at 227.5 at the rec books. It started seeing like a lot of overaction, got as high as 230, and now has just been back down to 227.5. Yeah, Dame probably worth about 6-7 points to a total. So yeah, I've got nothing on this game. So let's move on to the last game on the card, which is my favorite bet of the day. We have the Bulls in LA playing the Lakers. We saw this spread open at, I think it opened at, yeah, -11 Lakers. Then the underdog tweet comes out. LeBron is questionable. We saw this spread get out to Lakers -12. We missed that. Now seeing it at 9.5. Sharp Books at 10. We picked up a Bulls +11.5, got that down for 2 units. That's my favorite bet of the day. You can still pick up a 10.5, I think, at FanDuel or Sportsbet. That's one that I would still take, in my opinion. Bulls just been a covering machine lately. 12-4 against the spread in the last 16 games. We know they're not tanking. Trey Jones is questionable. He's actually been pretty important for the Bulls. Giddey is not on the injury report. So I like the Bulls against the spread with or without LeBron, because it's either LeBron gets ruled out and we walk into this game with like 3 points of CLV. This game closes at Lakers -8.5, maybe -9, maybe -8, something like that. If LeBron plays, then this gets out to like Lakers -11 again, maybe Lakers -12. But then we're playing into the star comes back angle, which generally a good idea to fade a team bringing back a star player in that first game. They've got to reintegrate LeBron. They've been playing without him for about 2 weeks now. LeBron, obviously a great player, but not easy. Him and Luca, like they're gonna have to figure things out again in this one, even though they were playing so well together just before he got injured. We have a Bulls team that, top 3 in pace, top 3 in 3-point attempt rate. The Bulls are 16-9 against bottom 10 pace teams, which the Lakers, that's what they are, bottom 10 pace team. Bulls speed the game up, they take their opponents out of their comfort zone, so that's an angle I really like, but I haven't played this for like 3 or 4 units because the Lakers, they are just really good at home, really good against the spread at home. Projected line at Lakers -6, so bit of an edge there for the Bulls, so we will take it. Looking at the total, this opened at 231.5 at the rec books. It opened at 234 at the sharp books. Now 234 across the board. Bulls 16-8 to the over against the West, and 17-12 to the over as road dogs. Lakers under team, pace down team. Lakers trends, no point of looking at them because just everything changes with Luka in the lineup. I got nothing on this total. My favorite bet of the day is the Bulls against the spread. If you can pick up a 10.5, go and grab it. So, best bets on the board. We do not have much action on today, and I don't even think I'm going to add anything else. Maybe Hawks money line if the market moves towards the Hawks. We've just got the Nets and Pacers over 219.5. One thing I didn't mention, the Nets, they shot 35% from the field in that last game against the Pacers. They had like a 93 offensive rating. The pace was also really slow that game, slower than the Nets' average pace. And we know the Pacers, they play fast. I expect this game to be a bit faster. I expect both teams to not struggle as much offensively. We're playing towards the closing line of the previous matchup. Halliburton gets ruled in. This total goes up to 223, 224, 225. So we like that one. My favorite bet on the card is Bulls +11. If you can grab it 10.5, go and grab it. Tricky slate to bet into, so not going to force anything. Again, we've been doing really well in March. Really well since starting recording as well. Especially due to March, almost up 40 units. Got any questions? Let me know on Twitter. Comment down below. Until next time, let's get the book salty.